Hi guys! So I hope you're doing well and that you had a lovely time at the end of 2020 for the holidays. So this is the first podcast of the year for my Inspirations podcast, and we are officially into season 2. That's episode 1 of season 2 of Inspirations. So I'm very happy to be with you again this year. Thank you so much for joining me today, and if you're new and you are watching the podcast for the first time today, thank you very much for being here. So this is a podcast about knitting and yarn dyeing. My name is Christelle and I have an Etsy shop. It's Tricot Stitch, and you can find me on Instagram and almost everywhere as Tricot Stitch. Tricot, by the way, means knitting in French. So yeah, I'm a French dyer and knitter. I live near Paris, and well, thank you for being there. So you can find the podcast, the notes for the podcast for this episode by clicking on plus and checking the notes below. I have an permanent monthly cal that's ongoing. So the one for December has been closed, and there's been a winner randomly picked up by me, and the winner is Virginie, and she wins a little kit to knit a gnome by Sarah Shira. So that's the pattern Never Not Gnoming, and that's a kit of 3 mini skeins in the colorways Ivy Confetti, Fury and Undyed Natural for the beard. So congratulations, Virginie. Also, I invited my lovely customers to share their slipstavaganza knitted with Tricot Stitch yarn on the Ravelry group, and I promised that there would be a little gift for one of them at the beginning of the year. So again, I picked a winner randomly, and the winner is Quick Banane. So that's Laurine. Thank you very much, Laurine. Congratulations. You win a little aimable notebook. It's especially for knitters. Congratulations, Laurine. So that's in the Woolly Puffin series. So if you want to participate, you can join. You can play on Ravelry or on Instagram with the hashtag for January. It's here. It's Tricot Stitch FO Fanfare Jan 2021. And so you can use the hashtag to post your Tricot Stitch project. So that can be using Tricot Stitch yarn or Tricot Stitch patterns, or both, for a double entry. And if you have a double entry on Instagram and a double entry on Ravelry, that's 4 more times you can win. Okay, so I hope you had a wonderful time, and I know a lot of you were unable to join to be with their families around that time of year, so I hope you were able to still have a good time. I was able to go to my parents and have a little, Christmas party with my parents. Well, a Christmas meal, really, not a party, but a meal with my family. And we had a great time. It was lovely. I hadn't seen them for a month, so it was really lovely. And 2 days later, we went on a vacation in the mountain in France, and so it was lovely as well. Lots of snow and lots of very cozy times. It was super cool. Except that the half of the family, so we are a family of 6, and half of the family was feeling under the weather during that period of time, me included. And I basically stayed in the chalet looking after the little ones. So that's the downside. I mean, maybe we were all very tired I don't know. We were able to enjoy a bit of snow at the end of the last 2 days of the holidays. We were able to enjoy some time outside as a family, but yeah, for 2/3 of the holidays I was stuck at home with sick kids, so bummer. Anyway, we're back at home, and I'm very happy to be, you know, back in business, because during the holidays I closed the shop completely, and because we had that a bit of a rough time with the kids, I wasn't able to shoot a podcast last week, so I wanted to share with you what I've been up to during the holidays. So the first project I've worked on and I finished, I have a FO to share with you, is the Land of Sweets pattern by Ellen Stewart. And so I'm super happy about that. It's a lovely, lovely pattern. I enjoyed knitting it immensely. It's very simple. I mean, you have 24 stripes. You can use 24 different colors. I decided to use 12 different colors and have each color used twice in the pattern. And you can see you have some stripes with no texture or specific stitches. Then you have these little squares. I decided to do a little stripy bit here just before the lace, so it's not blocked. It's going to be beautiful when it's blocked. You have three stripes of lace, again the squares, another lace pattern, the squares, same pattern at the beginning as at the beginning, the squares and the end. And it's a gorgeous little pattern. I really love it. I dyed some kits for that one. I still have one kit in the shop, I believe. This was a Land of Sweets kit in the Clara colorway. Every kit was inspired by the Nutcracker, like the pattern was as well. And what I did for several of my lovely customers, I sent, you know, because a lot of French knitters do not knit English pattern written in English. What I did is I translated the pattern to French, and I requested that my customers sent me a proof of purchase of the original pattern. And what I did is that I you know, cut the pattern in 12 equal parts, so that's 2 stripes per day. And for the 12 days of Christmas, I programmed a newsletter to send them a bit of the pattern each day from December the 25th to January the 5th. So it was very fun. I knitted along with them, and so I cast on the 24th, and then I knitted that on the way to my parents on the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, and so on and so forth until January the 5th. And because it was in very small bits, it's very manageable. You could knit that and do something else without any problems. I completed it, and I have an FO. I'm so proud. I have quite a lot of leftovers, and I'm thinking I'm going to knit the lovely mittens Helen Stewart published as part of Knit Van 2020. That's the Hurton mitts, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm going to use my leftovers from the Land of Sweets pattern, and it's going to be lovely. I wish I had enough to knit a little hat as well, but I think I'm going to be too short. We'll see. If I have enough yarn, maybe I'll, you know, just knit a sock head or something like that to go along with that lovely pattern. So again, it's my second It's the second pattern I knit by Ellen Stewart. The first one was the Stillness Shawl. Actually, I've been wanting to knit some patterns by her for a long time, but never got around to it. And it's since I'm, you know, full-time now behind the dyeing business and the knitting business, I just indulging in knitting all the things I've always wanted to knit. So, and I'm offering them as kits in the shop. So that was one of them. It's so cool. The other thing I worked very seriously, I was, you know, very regular about it, is the Inglenook 12 Days of Christmas spin along. So I've been following, you know, the spin along for several years now, mainly on Instagram, and I've always been amazed by the beautiful pictures of mainly drop spindle, not drop spindle, supported spindle. A lot of you know, people who share in the spin along spin on supported spindles or Russian spindles, and it's lovely and it's so beautiful, and Inglenook fibers colors are exquisite. So I was very lucky in 2020 that I managed to get one kit for the 12 days of Christmas, but I just don't have enough spindle to spin the fiber on spindles, and I knew I couldn't, you know, I would never have had the time to I really wanted to keep up with the rhythm of the 12 days of Christmas, because I knew that once I was back at home and back to my shop and my regular schedule, I wouldn't have any time left to, you know, regularly spin for this project. So I really wanted to be done with that during the holidays, and you know, enjoy this during the 12 days of Christmas. So I've almost managed to finish it. This is, I used my spinning wheel, so it's, I have a Kiwi spinning wheel, and I spun 11 little, you know, fluff balls on my spinning wheel, and this is the last one that I didn't get around to spin yet. So you cannot see the progression of colors yet here. But it started as a very beautiful blue-gray, and then it went to blue, to green, to blue, to purple, and then red, and we're finishing with a dash of orange. And I choose the one with the Stellina option, so the sparkle, and there is a little bit of tweed, and it's gorgeous. And you know, because I didn't have enough bobbins to do a 2-ply, because I would have needed 3 bobbins and I had only 2, I decided to spin all my singles on the same bobbin, which leaves me with 2 options really, either a 3-ply Navarro ply or a single. And because I spun, I chose to spin woolen, not worsted, and that my singles are pretty thick, I think. Well, not thick, but I wanted to have a fingering weight, and this is obviously too thick for a 3-ply fingering weight. So because it's not too, I mean, I've been a bit loose on the spinning. It's not too much, you can see here. Well, it's the end, but I mean, it's really loosely spun like this. So I think it's okay to keep it as a single. So I'm just going to finish and spin this bit, and then I'm going to let it rest for a couple of days, and then I'm going to finish the yarn. I'll just remove it from the spin from the bobbin really, and finish it, and that's it. I'm going to have a beautiful gradient. So that's the second project on which I worked during the holidays. And then I made a lot of progress also on another project which is in link with my shop, because starting this month in January I decided to offer kind of a club in my shop. So it's like a club without any constraints really, because all you have to do, actually there will be one colorway per month. In the colorway will be inspired by one theme related to the month, to the ongoing month. For example, well, the club is called the Sock Knitters Almanac. Has a you know, how can I say, has a wink to Elizabeth Zimmerman's Knitters Almanac. Well, it's an almanac because it's per month, and each time it will be linked to the month, and it's really an initiative to offer you an exclusive color for the ongoing month, and coupled with a pattern, a sock pattern, which is to me a classic of sock knitting that I've always wanted to knit and never got around to knitting. So that's exactly what it's all about. It's a colorway inspired by, for example, this month is January, and the theme is the nights, the winter nights. So the beautiful time of the year when you have a lot of snow, some aurora borealis, and beautiful skies with a lot of stars, and all the light reflecting on the snow, and the whole atmosphere being like this gorgeous gorgeous blues with a dash of purple and a little bit of green. So I choose to dye this one on Lurex just to mimic the stars, a starry sky. And yeah, that's the colorway for this month. And the pattern I choose to go with this colorway is this one. I'm sure if you are a sock knitter, you know that pattern. It's called Vanilla is the New Black. And so it's perfect for a variegated colorway because it's mainly stockinette all the way. And really what's interesting about this pattern is the heel construction. It's really beautiful and elegant and quite simple actually, and I really liked it. I've always been intrigued by it. I really wanted to knit it. I've been wanting to knit it for a long time, and this is the perfect occasion. So the really awesome thing about this pattern as well, that it is completely reversible and you can wear it with the reverse stockinette outside. This is showing very prettily on the other sides as well. And this is the yarn all caked up. Going to show you there. This is how it looks with the reverse stockinette outside. You see, it looks almost exactly the same except for the center here, otherwise it's exactly the same. It is beautiful, and I love how the colors play together with the reverse stockinette side of the fabric. So yeah, And that's basically what I knitted on during the vacation. Initially I wanted to knit the Winter Lights pattern by Stephen West. I even put together some kits in the shop for that pattern and kept one for myself. But I changed my mind because once he revealed the the pattern on the 26th of December, I thought it was really too close to strips organza for my taste. I didn't want to embark on another, almost exclusively slipped stitches project. I wanted to knit something a bit more simple, a bit more traditional, a bit more. I wanted to knit some, garter stitches, stripes, a bit of lace. So, well, I just didn't do anything with that. I cast on a little bit of a shawl, no pattern, just what I told you, just basically some garter stitch. I wanted to have a very like 3/4 triangular shawl, and not triangular, but yeah, 3 triangles, to have something that sits on the shoulder very well. And I needed that. I needed 20 rows really, so I didn't go for, but I might, continue and see where it gets me. You might have noticed behind me I changed the setup a bit. This is something I used. It's I don't know if you have that. It's from IKEA, and it's something where you can hang ties or belts or things to to organize your dressing. And what I did, it's the perfect size to put some case in there. So this is really Tricot Stitch Future. So there are some green projects there. There are some future projects. This is a lineup for another version of Brioche Queen, and I'd like to design a Brioche Queen hat to go with the coal. So that's the yarn all caked up and waiting for me to cast on. This is another iteration of my Réconfort Châle that you can see here. So I wanted to knit another version with this yarn, because this is not Tricot Stitch yarn. This is some yarn that I bought a few years ago on vacation, and I wanted to knit one with my yarns. So this is a yarn that I'm hopefully going to propose in the shop very soon. It's a DK, it's a tweed DK. So that's another project on which I need to make some progress. Then just above you have the second sock of the Noël d'Antan pattern here. You have another ball of BFL, because I wanted to knit some socks from the Outlander knitting book. So that's for those socks. Above that you have the kit that I initially put together for the knit along, for the Hiber knit along. And you have my little beginning of a shawl, baby shawl, just right here. And just above that you have a project I cast on, just a little simple knit, because I wanted to test 2 new to me bases for the shop. So this is really my not really my work in progress exclusively, but some work in progress, some future projects on which I have not started to work yet. I have a huge pile of work in progress, just stashed in the house, on which I want to make some progress, but I don't have enough time to finish all them, but to finish them all, sorry. But yeah, I am willing. I kind of love to have, them on display like this. I think it's pretty cool. So regarding the shop, so if you're watching the episode in English, that is most certainly that you are not in France. So I just wanted to tell you that a few months ago I lowered the shipping fees for outside of France. So it's €9.90 for Europe, and it's €19.90 for the rest of the world. So just so you know. And the shop's been updated. So today the shop's been updated. You will find some new colorways. You will find some sweater quantities in some new, some regular colorways. I put some there are some minis in the shop as well, some kits, some, yeah, I put, actually what I did is that I spent a bit of time in my workshop, in my studio this week after I got back from vacation, and I, you know, did an inventory and went into each bin and made sure. I have found actually a lot of things that were not listed in the shop, so that's why there's going to be some minis, for example, like this one or this one. This was sitting in a bin. I don't know why I didn't list it before. And there will also be, for the first time, there will be a clearance of some, you know, yarn that's been sitting on the shelves for over more than a few months now. So I decided it was time for them to go. So I'm going to open a, well, it's already opened, a clearance section in the shop. Everything in there will be at -20%. So, and there will be a lot of beautiful, beautiful bases there. Some that I tried that I didn't offer in the shop on a regular basis. So there is a lot of beautiful, beautiful bases with yak, with silk, with cashmere, baby alpaca, a lot of beautiful things. So if you had your eyes on something like this that was quite pricey, now is your time because it's 20% off. There is also a sweater quantity in a very bright pink and with sparkle. So I just love that colorway. It's the colorway Eleanor, and it's bright pink with sparkles. If I had the time, I just would need myself a sweater with that. But there is a sweater quantity, and there is an option for a more and silk coordinated color as well in the clearance section. So just check it out and see if you see something that strikes your fancy. And that's it basically for this week. So I hope you like. Oh yes, and there is a huge restock on Crazy Witch. Crazy Witch is restocked. Okay, so I hope you will find something that you like. Next things for me this month is, my objective is to, you know, finish. I really want to knit 12 pairs of socks, a minimum of 12 pairs of socks this year. So I'm actually pretty organized to make sure I'm finishing this by the end of the month, to make place for the next sock pattern and the next colorway. That will be the February colorway of the Almanac. I'm not going to reveal you the theme yet. I will reveal everything beginning of February. I just wanted to tell you that it's going to work. I'm going to dye a little amount of yarn at the beginning of the month, just to share with you the theme and the colorway and the pattern. And then I will open pre-orders for that specific colorway across all sock bases. So that's basically what I did for this colorway. So that's Nuit d'hiver, which translates as winter nights, and I offered that colorway across all sock bases, and most of the bases are sold out, and because of the Brexit I'm having difficulties getting some more of this one specifically lurex. I will have some more later in the month. I should have more Stellina and Yak sock very soon, but lurex is gonna be a bit longer. So there is still Extrafine Fingering in the shop, so you just, you know, just pop your head and see if you like it. I think that colorway is going to look good across all bases, really. And yeah, and I'm pretty disciplined. I've set an objective of knitting 12 rows per day to make sure I'm finished well ahead of the end of the month. Same thing to finish the second one for this one, 12 rows per day. And that's basically it for the projects for this month. I think I'm going to start very soon a new shawl, but I might, you know, do some progress, make some progress on some other projects here. And I still have a love note I want to finish as well, and I want to wear. So that's a pretty strong motivator for me. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I will be very happy to see you again next week, because starting next week I will be able to resume the weekly podcast. And well, thank you so much for being with me today, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye.